Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to solve Leetcode problem number 20, which is going to be a valid parenthesis. So basically what is given in this question is that we have a string s which contains some parentheses, and all we need to do is to just check that whether these parentheses are arranged in their correct order or not. So if it is in their correct order, so we're going to have to return true, otherwise we're going to go with false. So let's see the intuition. So here I'm going to take an example, which is going to be this, and also I'm going to apply a stack operation over here. So you should know what is stack is first of all. So stack is a data structure which follow LIFO, last in first out. So whatever the element is going to be inserted at the last or at the top, it will going to be come out first. So this is what the stack is, right? And also we're going to iterate this string, right? So for that I'm going to take a pointer I, right? So what we are going to do is that whatever the if our pointer is going to point a bracket, and that is of an opening type, right? And that is of opening type, so what we're going to do, we're going to insert inside our stack, right? So right now our I pointer is pointing to a bracket, and that is of opening type, right? It is an open bracket. So what we're going to do, we're going to insert inside our stack, which is going to be like this, right? And then we're going to move our pointer one step ahead, and then we're going to check again, right? So right now again our I pointer is pointing to a bracket, and that is of an open bracket, right? So again we're going to append inside our stack, right? And then we're going to move our I pointer one step ahead. So basically what we are doing, right? That if our I pointer is pointing to a bracket, and if it is that and if it is of opening type, so we're going to insert inside our stack to keep a track of open brackets, right? So that is why I'm going to insert inside or append inside our stack, right? And now the moments come where our I pointer is pointing to a bracket, and that is of closing bracket, right? That is of a closing type. So if our I pointer is pointing to a bracket, and that is of a closing type of bracket, so in this case what we are going to do, we're going to pop out the last element from our stack, right? This is how we're going to do it. And then you need to compare this bracket, or whatever the bracket is going to be point out from our I pointer, like this bracket. We're going to check, we're going to compare it, that whether these two bracket is of same type or not, right? So if these two bracket are of same type, then what we're gonna have to do is to move our I pointer. We didn't do anything, we're gonna have to move our I pointer one step ahead, right? And then again we get the closing bracket. So if we get a closing bracket, we're gonna have to pop out the last element from our stack, and then we're going to compare it. Both are of same type, right? Both are of square brackets. And then we do nothing, and we're gonna have to move our I pointer one step ahead, which is going to be this. Now we get again the closing bracket, right? So we're going to pop out the last element from our stack, which is going to be like this, and again we're going to compare it. Both are of same type, that is of square brackets. So we do nothing, we're going to move our I pointer one step ahead. Now we get an opening bracket. So if we get the opening bracket, so what we do, we're going to append inside our stack, right? And then we're going to move our pointer one step ahead. So this is what we are doing, right? Again we get the closing bracket. So if we get a closing bracket, so in this case we're going to pop out the element from our stack, and then we're going to compare it. Both are of same type, both are curly braces, right? So in this case our stack is empty, right? Our stack is empty. Okay, no more element is present inside it. So if our stack is empty, and if our I pointer is pointed or iterated till the end, so in this case we have to return true. Means all brackets are of means all bracket are arranged in correct order, right? So in this case we're gonna have to return true, right? So let's take another example. So we're going to do the same. I'm going to take a stack, and then we have a pointer, and then we know that if our pointer is pointing to a bracket that is of opening bracket, so we're going to append inside our stack, right? And then we're going to move our pointer one step ahead, right? So we do the same. Then again we're going to have to append it inside our stack, and then we're going to move our pointer one step ahead. Now the moment come where our I pointer is pointing to a bracket, and that is of close bracket, right? So if it is of close bracket, so what I said earlier is that we're gonna have to pop out the last element from the stack, and then we have to compare it whether these two brackets are of same type or not. So right now both brackets are not of same type. Okay, we have a parenthesis and have a square bracket, right? Both are different, right? So if they are different, so on the spot we're gonna return false. We don't have to iterate anymore. Here we come to know that our brackets are not arranged in correct order, so we're going to return false, right? So now let's take another example. So again we're going to take a stack and an I pointer, right? So right now I pointer is pointing to a bracket, and that is of closing bracket, right? And that is of closing bracket, so we didn't have to append inside our stack, right? We're gonna have to pop out the element from the stack. But the problem is that our stack is empty, right? Our stack is already empty. Okay, so in this case, if our I pointer is not pointed or not iterated till the end, right, and our stack is empty, right? And if our stack is empty and our I pointer is not iterated till the end, so in that case we're gonna have to return false, right? Let's see the coding part. Okay, so we know that we're gonna have to take an empty stack, so let's make it stack. Okay, and now we're going to iterate it. So for that I'm going to apply a for loop for I in s, right? And we're going to check, right? We know that if our I pointer is pointing to a bracket and that is of an open bracket, so what we're going to do, we're going to append inside our stack, right? So let's cover these all opening brackets. If our I is pointing to a parenthesis, or if our I is pointing to an open curly braces, or if our I is equals to open square bracket. So in this case what we have to do, we're gonna have to directly insert in or append inside our stack, right? So stack dot append I, right? Okay, now if our I is pointing to a bracket, and if that bracket is of closing type, so we're gonna write over an else case. So, and also we know that if our len of stack is equals to 0, right? If our len of stack is equals to 0 and our I pointer is not pointed till the end, I'm talking about this last case, that if our I pointer is not iterated till end and our stack is empty, so in this case we know that we have to return false, right? So so I'm going to write this case over here, is that if our len of stack is going to be 0, right? If our len of stack equals to 0, so in this case what we're going to do, we're going to return false, right? So I'm going to return false. Okay, now let's move to the next case. In else case what we do, we're going to pop out the last element, right? We're going to pop out the last element. So for that I'm going to store that last element in this ch variable, where we're going to store the stack dot pop, which is going to be the last element. Okay, and then we're going to compare these elements. If they are of same type, right, then we do nothing. Okay, so let's do this. If I is equals to it will going to be closing parenthesis, okay, and ch is equals to opening parenthesis, right? So in these two cases we didn't have to do anything, right? We're gonna move our pointer one step ahead, and now let's write for some other brackets also. So we have I, okay, let's write inside parenthesis I equals to curly braces, right? and and we have ch, which is going to be point out the opening bracket, right? So in these two cases also we have to return true, right? So okay, and then we're going to manage the another case, which is going to be for the square brackets. Okay, so let's write inside parenthesis our I is pointed to the closing square bracket, right? And our character or ch is going to be point to opening square bracket. So in these cases we do nothing, right? Means our parentheses are arranged in correct order. So in these cases we do nothing. So for that I'm going to write continue. We're going to do the continue. Okay, continue. And then if these brackets going to be mismatched or not in correct order or not are of same type, right? So in this case we're going to return false on the spot. So let's return false. We will not going to iterate further. Okay, and then if in case if our I pointer is pointed till the end, right, or iterated till the end, and if our len of stack is going to be 0, so in that case also we have to return true, right? So we're going to write that case also, which is going to be return len of stack equals to 0. If it is equals to 0, so we're gonna get true, and if it is not, then we're gonna get false, right? So let's run this. So the time complexity of this question is going to be big O of n, or space complexity is also going to be big O of n. So here it is submitted, and that's all for today.